Howdy, howdy. Sudevil here. In this episode of Combat Analysis, we're going to look at the value of adding chevrons to your units. Now, when you go to add here, it's 27 gold to rank them up, and it keeps increasing as you increase your rank. But is it worth that 27 gold to add those stat points to your units? It's not super easy to do the testing, so there's very few units that are close enough to where the chevron increase can actually be tested in battle. I have done a spreadsheet where I can do this calculation, and I'll show you how it sets up, and then we'll go and do some testing and confirm that that information is accurate, and we'll calculate an approximate value for ranking up your units one chevron. Now, I've used this spreadsheet before. I basically have tried to build some calculations in to understand some of the combat effects, and I've done some other stuff with it, but basically what I have here is a comparison versus miners, and the key number we want to find out is how they fare against dwarf warriors with great weapons, because we can level them up to get them approximately equivalent. And the way I do that is just look at the miners and start adding, 7 chevrons, and you see their swings to kill are 549, them to kill you 607. So I want to make those about equivalent. So I've gone through this, and the calculation I have is at about 8.9 chevrons. It's going to take the miners and dwarf warriors about 580 swings to kill each other. So based on this calculation, 8.9 chevrons will be about the amount you have to add to a miner to get them to be equivalent in combat to a dwarf warrior. So the testing that I did was I took a unit of miners at 8 chevrons and ran them up against a unit of dwarf warriors with no buffs just to see the combat results. Then I leveled them up to 9 chevrons, ran the same test 5 times, and this is the data that I got. So this isn't a really pretty spreadsheet, it's just to show the data. Basically, the value I calculated was 8.9 chevrons. The base value of dwarf warriors, oh nice spelling, good job Sudevil, is 525 gold. Miners are worth 350. If you put 8 chevrons on those miners, they're worth 645 gold. 9 chevrons are worth 692. Now, when the dwarf warriors fought the miners with 8 chevrons, the dwarf warriors won all 5 of the battles, though they were extremely close. When the miners had 9 chevrons, they won 4 out of the 5 battles, but again, they were extremely close. Maybe the value is 8.7. I don't know. Combat is always a little bit different. The calculation is probably correct, but the value for per chevron based on this analysis is about 20 gold. So obviously these miners costing 692 or 645, losing to the dwarf warriors at 525 is not a good value at all. So basically this number, 20, your chevrons being worth about 20 gold, it's always going to be, well, almost always, we'll go take a look at that in a second, almost always going to be a poor value to add chevrons to your units if you're going to fight in online battles. So in trying to find other places to do some good tests, I was looking at factions to see if I could find some other ones to do. For example, could I take Chaos Warriors with great weapons and get them up to Chosen with great weapons? Now, you can increase their rank all the way up to 9 and their approximate value, but these Chosen will still, they just absolutely crush the Chaos Warriors. The one place where I thought it may be of interest is with the vampire count, and that is specifically because zombies are so cheap. Okay, and to rank them up is only 18 gold, and for some reason to go to the second rank is 17, and then it goes over to 23. So I'm not sure, maybe that's a bug. I don't know. I put in a lord and basically added 8, I think, units to evaluate. If you take those 8 units, one rank up is a 144, the next one is 136. If the value is 20 gold per chevron, we're getting about 160 value out of each chevron we add, which is equivalent to another group of zombies. So then I set up an army with 2 extra groups of zombies to see if I can actually outvalue them. Now, this is the actual testing I did. I did the tests, I think, 2 or 3 times, and you know, I could have done it more. It didn't seem to be valuable. Sometimes the AI won't cooperate with bigger tests, and they'll get their lord involved. But I was able to run this test twice really cleanly, and the third time it wasn't super clean. Their lord got involved. But ultimately, with my ranked up zombies, if their value is truly what it is, they should be able to beat, or at least be very close against a enemy with 2 more full units of zombies. And I'll save you the suspense. They weren't. So that value of 20 gold might even be less. It might be more like, you know, it's really close, but you know, we didn't seem to be able to pick up that value on the zombies, and that may be because they're you know, because of their mechanic where they all disappear once they get so low and everything else like that. But I thought there might be some way to pull out some slight value edge by using this mechanic, but there just isn't. You know, maybe someone will find something else, but ultimately what this shows is the value of a chevron is 20 gold or less, and I hope really that'll be good information for anyone when you get to the end of your army or you're pre-building an army to think about, because I see lots of people adding chevrons to their units, and even really strong players that are on ladder battles, they might add 2 chevrons here or there, but it is really much more valuable to pull in an extra unit or get an extra strong ability, and only if you're at the end of your build and you have like 40 gold left over or something like that, and you can't reconfigure your army in a different way that's going to be meaningful, only then is that extra chevron going to be worth it, because you're getting some value rather than none, rather than trying to compare it to the value of extra units. So anyways, I hope you found that interesting, and I will see you later.